Hi, welcome back to our Honors Geometry series. In this video, we're going to go through our 5-1 notes, part 2, where we talk more about perpendicular and angle bisectors. So perpendicular bisectors meet at the circumcenter, which is equidistant to the vertices of the triangle. So if I drew in the perpendicular bisector, what I would like you to do is take a ruler and measure out the middle of each segment. And I'll try my best to make mine pretty accurate. So I'll measure out the middle of each segment, and I'm going to draw a perpendicular line to each side of the triangle through the midpoint. So I'll draw in all three perpendicular bisectors, and they should all cross at a single point, and that point there is the circumcenter. So that circumcenter, if I were to measure the distance between this point and one vertex, it would be the same distance from that point to either of the other two vertices. So anytime you are asked to find a point that is equidistant between 3 points, that would be the circumcenter, and you would find the perpendicular bisectors of the 3 sides of the triangle. So if I look at example 1, interior design, a stove, a sink, and a refrigerator are positioned in a kitchen as shown. Find the location for the center of an island workstation so that it is the same distance from these 3 points. So same distance from 3 points, that will always be the circumcenter of the triangle between those points. So if I was going to find where that island workspace should go, I would find, again with my ruler, I would measure out the midpoint of each of those 3 segments, and I'll try my best to estimate that, and I would draw the perpendicular lines So I'll draw my perpendicular lines at a right angle to all 3 of these segments through the midpoints. It looks like some of my angles must be a little bit off. Because if I were to do this, they should all intersect at a single point. So I would measure that with a ruler, find your midpoints, and then draw in your perpendicular lines through those midpoints, your perpendicular bisectors, so that you find the circumcenter that would be equidistant from the sink, the kitchen, or sink, refrigerator, and stove. Alright, example 2, my sisters and I want to get together for New Year's Day, but we live in different cities. If I live in Morris, Illinois, one of my sisters lives in Norman, Oklahoma, at OU, down in the bottom left corner, and my other sister lives in Lincoln, Nebraska, where should we meet so that we all have to drive exactly the same distance? Well, what does this mean? It means that I need to find the point that is equidistant from 3 different points. Maybe I should triangulate our locations. And if I'm trying to find the point that is equidistant from each of the 3 vertices of that triangle, what point should I be trying to find? So I'll give you a couple minutes. I'd like you to try to find that on your own. So if you could pause the video, try that on your own, and then unpause and check your work, that would be great. Alright, so you should be done by now. If not, again, pause the video, try it on your own, and then unpause and check your work. And I'm just going to try to eyeball this. But I would like you to use a ruler, measure out the midpoint, and then I'm going to draw the perpendicular lines through my midpoint. And notice here that sometimes your circumcenter would be outside the triangle. That's okay. It does not always have to be inside the triangle, the circumcenter. But it looks like, what is that? Somewhere between Springfield and Columbia. Maybe right south. So directly south of Columbia, maybe. Somewhere in there, that city, whatever city that is, would be the right place for us to meet so that we all have to drive exactly the same distance. Alright, example 3. To water his triangular garden, Alex needs to place a sprinkler equidistant from each vertex. Where should he place the sprinkler? Well, what point is going to be equidistant from the 3 vertices of a triangle? I'll give you a minute to try this one on your own. Again, pause the video and then unpause when you're done to check your work. Alright, so your point that is equidistant from the vertices of a triangle is your circumcenter. So I'll do my best again to just kind of eyeball this, find the midpoint, make your right angles, find the midpoint, make a right angle. And it looks like this one's going to be my circumcenter. This time it is inside the triangle. So sometimes it is inside the triangle, sometimes it is outside the triangle. And that looks like it's the best spot here to put my sprinkler. Now, angle bisectors are a little